Welcome back to this episode of your Kingsport blog video update. I'm Jeff Fleming, Assistant City Manager, and today I thought we'd try something a little different. Thought we'd run over what happened last night at the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. Just to give you a quick rundown of the current events. First, we heard the Aquatic Center financials from Chris McCart and Carrie Matheny, and the board was very pleased with the results that were expressed and actually offered up Chris and Carrie to attend any civic club or gathering that you would like to hear these numbers, because a lot of assumptions are made about these big projects and wondering what has happened with them, but rarely do we have an opportunity to really follow up and get into an in-depth conversation. So it was a great presentation. I would strongly encourage you to consider that if you're a member of a civic club, to give him a call and get that set up. Currently, the revenue is trending at about $1 million. The expenses are about $1.2 million, which is within the tolerances that we had planned as a subsidy for that program. And the subsidy does come from the regional sales tax. So that does mean that people who live in the area, who shop in Kingsport, it's not just on the property tax burdens of folks that live inside the city. It also applies to anyone who shops here. And that is the target audience for who would use the facility as well. Trending under budget are salaries and chemicals and water and sewer costs, and trending over budget are one-time costs. So hopefully as we get through that first year, we'll see improvement in those numbers as well. There have been more than 211 birthday parties held, and the center's not been open a year yet. So it's become a very popular place to host birthday parties. There have been 130 classes taught in swim lessons, 700 participants. There's 31 classes a week for water aerobics, and nearly 600 people have participated in those programs. There are also 3 swim teams using the facility, one of which is a new startup team that only began after the center opened, and there's also scuba diving and kayaking. Currently, there are 12 swim meets that are scheduled, and 7 have been held to date. There have been 4 multi-day events, and 3 meets are high school meets, including the East Tennessee Regionals. So we are seeing the tourism aspect of the center as well. And the current economic impact from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau, using very conservative multipliers, are a $20,000 direct impact and a $40,000 indirect impact for the center. Again, that just kind of skims the surface of that report, and I would strongly encourage you to reach out to Chris McCart and Carrie Matheny for a presentation to your civic club for more detailed information. They've done a fantastic job, and hats off for the good work they've done. We also heard an update on the Kingsport Employee Wellness presentation, which referred to the Care Here facility, which is located in the old Sullivan County Health Department off Midland Drive. That is now a city facility. It is staffed with a doctor and nurse and other professionals to support the city's wellness program. So it provides an opportunity for us to minimize health care costs, because we are a self-funded organization. It is currently at 95% usage level, which is a great place to be, and we have seen tremendous cost savings already in just maintenance medications, physicals, routine checkups, and routine visits for things that you need to get a prescription for. So it's a much more affordable option for us compared to urgent care, and certainly much more affordable than the emergency room. So we are very pleased with the outcome thus far on that. The Welcome Center is currently under construction and is scheduled to open in July 2014. We made provisions last night to work out the water service for that location. Again, that is a completely Tennessee Department of Transportation project, so it is not a project that we can control here locally. So as you see it unfold, we're happy to talk to you about it, but we have no control really over the schedule. The Wilcox Mobility Path, there was some information in the newspaper last week about cost overruns to the budget for that project. In reality, the project is within our local budget, but when you cross the sluice bridge, the Department of Transportation has authority over how that sidewalk is designed. So they made some safety adjustments that they mandated on that particular bridge, so we were obligated to comply with that regulation. They also provided the money to compensate for those additional expenses. There is a small local match, and we are working now to get the Tennessee Department of Transportation to pick up that portion of the tab as well. So when you see numbers like that, understand that there are certain things that are within our control, and there are certain things that are not within our control. And when it is not in our control, we certainly look for ways to enhance the revenue to cover it accordingly. So a great job by the Public Works folks that have been putting that together, and we certainly want this to be a very safe option for folks to get out there to the Aquatic Center and Meadowview. J. Fred Johnson Stadium update. Construction is currently underway, and the contract completion date is October 31st of this year. So we will begin to see some pretty significant changes in the view of the stadium here over the next several months. We also had the annual update for Annexation Plan of Services. This sometimes has become basically a routine on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Depending on when the annual date comes up for each individual annexation, there is a report on the outstanding commitment for providing services to the area. We are constantly ahead of schedule, and we take this very seriously. We itemize the services that we're going to provide, and then we follow up annually. So there's a lot of hoopla, I guess, when annexation happens, and people wonder what happens after the date of annexation. But we go to work providing services, designing water line upgrades and sewer line upgrades, extending garbage collection, installing street lights, extending police and fire service, and all the various city services that we provide. And we do provide an annual report every year. So our planning department does a great job of keeping up with that. I happen to be with a city manager from the Memphis area back in the summer, and he was asking how we handled it. And I would say that we're a very exemplary model for the way we handle these annexation updates. Again, hats off to our planning department on that work. Double Springs water tank replacement. We are replacing the water tank that's just off of Rock Springs Road. You can see it on I-81 between Fall Branch and the Tri-Cities Crossing exits. We're going to be upgrading that tank so that we can provide fire flow and an increased capacity for the Edinburgh and all the Rock Springs annexation areas that we have completed over the last few years. We did receive funding to purchase the birdwatcher statue downtown. Miles Burdine from the Chamber of Commerce spearheaded an effort where numerous individuals wrote checks to buy that statue and add it to our permanent collection. So we're very pleased that we were able to accept that money last night and keep the birdwatcher. Bonnie McDonald and the folks at Cultural Arts just do a phenomenal job, and we're very appreciative of all that they do. And finally, we worked out a land swap with Tennessee Electric. Tennessee Electric is on John B. Dennis Highway. We are currently upgrading the main water connection to the water intake on the Holston River, and it does go through that ridge. It burrows under John B. Dennis Highway and comes out at the water treatment plant. And this allowed us to complete that project, as well as provide opportunities for Tennessee Electric to continue to expand here in Kingsport. So again, our staff is very creative and appreciate the work that they do. Chad Austin and folks out there at the water sewer facility on Conner Rock Road. That is your quick update, and I'm Jeff Fleming. I look forward to seeing you next month.